Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to CSL Greater Boston. I'm Gina, and I am blessed to be the spiritual director of this wonderful center. I'm Gina, and I am blessed to be the spiritual director of this wonderful center. I'm Gina, and I am blessed to be the spiritual director of this wonderful center. Having a little bit of Gina, and I am blessed to be that. So bear with us at the moment. It's always an adventure. You never quite know what you're going to get. So I think it's taken care of. Thank you for being here with us this morning. And we have a special guest here this morning. And I am so happy to have him with us. And I'm so happy to have you with us. We are a spiritual center that teaches religious science, which is philosophy, religion, and science, and the culmination of the best of each of them. We come together and practice science of mind, which is a wonderful teaching. We know truth, we celebrate it, and that's one of the greatest things that our speaker, Michael Mangus, who is this close to an official minister in CSL, he is going to be sharing with us today. I am so grateful to have my friend here with me, and I'm so grateful to have you here with me this morning. So this morning, the first song that we're going to sing is The Face of God. And yes, we are singing. Sing along wherever you are, whether you're at home, whether you're out and enjoying this beautiful sunny summer day. You are the face of God.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. Tu es l'image de Dieu. I hold you in my heart. Tu es l'image de l'amour. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. Tu sei la luce di Dio. I hold you in my heart. Tu sei il volto dell'amore. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of love. You are the face of love. I hold you in my heart. You are my family. You are my family. You are the face of love. The face of love. You are the face of love. The face of love. I hold you in my heart. You in my heart. You are my family. You are my family. You are the face of love. You are the face of God, the face of God. I hold you in my heart, you in my heart. You are a part of me, You are the face of God, the face of God. You are the face of God. Eres la luz de Dios. I hold you in my heart. Eres la cara del amor. You are a part of me. are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. La luce di Dio. You are the face. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. L'image de Dieu. You are the face. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. The face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face. You are the face of God. You are the face of God.
You are the face of God. You are the beloved of the beloved. And it is so important that we remember in each and every moment that we are that. That I am presence, and each one is that. And that is so important. Just as we see a newborn baby with infinite possibility, Spirit sees that as each one of us. You are that beauty. So on that note, let's go into an invocation and knowing, a prayer to know that as we begin this beautiful message, that we are in celebration, that the beloved community that we are, the love, the light, the joy, and the home, that safe harbor of CSL Greater Boston, knowing that our hearts are wide open, that our arms are wide open, and that Spirit is in this place. I know that there is only one power, one presence, one love, and one life, and that this one is exactly where I am. This one, all-encompassing good, is all that there is. And I know it as this celebration this morning. I know that this service is blessed. Everything from technology to the people that are involved within it. Everyone watching, whether it's live or in a playback, each one is blessed. And I know that each one carries blessings forth throughout the world. And I know that in this moment, and each moving forward, the vibration is higher because of it. I know that Michael Mangus' message is exactly what we need to hear, that it uplifts and that it celebrates truth. And I know that each one that needs it receives it and embodies it. So in the perfection of spirit, in the joy of all there is yet to be, I celebrate it and set it free. I say amen. And together we say, and so it is. And we have, I actually, for the topic today is the one and only. And it talks about our relationship with spirit, to me, the most important by far. That is all there is, that everything is a reflection of that. And, my favorite book by Ernest Holmes, our founder, is this thing called You. And I always call it a love letter from spirit. And I was doing a class on it at one point, and this poem came out afterwards. So I am going to read you this poem, but I also put it on a slide. So if you want it for yourself, you can take a screenshot of it. And this way you have it. Love letter from spirit. You are my beloved. No greater purpose could ever be. You, as my creation, are the embodiment of love. What else could you be? I gave you life because you're worthy. My deepest blessings in every breath for thee. You use my mind Your free will sets your own path, both in pain and blessing. You are free. You are as close as your breath to me. Energy and atoms in physical form, all me, given freely to use as you choose, although not always consciously. I love you, my child, and I offer you the world to see. I create an abundance, and for you, it is all free. So remember how much I love you, my child, and hold you lovingly. For I will never forsake you, and ever will I embrace you, but only when you come to me. So knowing that that beloved is right here, right now, knowing the joy of that, knowing the celebration of that, we're going to play Eddie Watkins. I am the place where God shows up. Let's celebrate that right here and right now.
Am I strong enough to bear the burdens that sometimes come living this thing called life? Am I wise enough to make the right decisions when I'm standing at the fork in the road? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone, and there's nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Will I have enough to do the things I need to do to take care of myself? Will I have the health of mind and body to live a life of grace and wholeness? Sometimes I wonder and ponder, only to realize I'm not alone, and there's nothing I have to do on my own, because I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place.
I am the place where God
You
lives,
are the place.
moves and breathes and has
We
its
are the
being.
place
I am the place
where God shows up. I am the place.
I am the place where God
You are the place.
breathes and has
We are the place
I am the place
where God shows up. I want you to clap your hands and sing it with me. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up.
Yes, I am the place where God shows up. And here we are, and our topic today is the one and only. And I am so blessed to be here with someone that I consider a friend and a classmate. Michael Mangus is actually he's been ordained not through CSL yet. That's actually in October. He's the graduating class that I am in, actually, and he actually received his master's in consciousness as well as his certificate. He's completed the Holmes program, and he was also Bishop Carlton Pierce, who is a New Thought minister, also ordained him as well in 2013. So he has a wonderful, vibrant wedding ministry. He has performed over 700 weddings. Imagine that. How much love has this person? I can't even imagine how much love has gone into that. But he was the director of Summit Spiritual Center in Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio, for over 18 years. And he has been in Summit CSL. He was there until 2019 as the spiritual director. And then his wife, Diane, who became the spiritual director. So he is still very involved, and he does so much. He's a New Thought minister already, and he's getting his additional ministry. It's through CSL, but he also does a lot online. New Thought Media Network is so grateful to have him, not only on the prayer team, but he leads the fireside chat on Sunday evenings, and it's 7 p.m., I believe it is, 6 p.m. on the East Coast. So I will get that right time for you. But he is a wonderful human being, and he is a gift to our teachings. And he's going to go a little bit deeper today as we delve into the one and only. He's going to go a little bit deeper. So I am so grateful to bring you in to our pastor, Michael Mangus. I am going to gratefully leave everyone in your more than capable hands. We're so grateful to have you here today.
Well, thank you, Gina. Wow, what a great opening. Really good to see everyone online. Thank you, Gina, for having me. And thank you for your trust in me. The truth is that when you've gone through all the ministerial components at Holmes Institute, one is usually able to give a morning lesson in a manner that is not only engaging, but also transformational. So I do have a disclaimer before I talk, and that is the speaker, me, is going to push and challenge you to use what you learn today. What changes our lives is not more knowledge about the science of mind and spirit. It is the application of what we teach. So at the end, I'm going to challenge you this week to apply this lesson to your daily life. And Dr. Ernest Holmes, the founder of our teaching, encouraged all of us to be transformed by the practical application of the science of mind and spirit. So this is the concluding lesson of this month's theme on relationships. And so I'll read the general summary from today's lesson. There is only God. The way that we relate to ourselves, to one another, the world, and with the universal power are all interconnected and inseparable. We cannot claim to love God while hating ourselves. We cannot declare that it is a just and equitable universe while treating others, and that includes people, animals, and also the earth, unjustly. And this month is an invitation here to anchor in the spiritual practice of engaged relationships and actively revealing in the wonder of how each relationship is ultimately a relationship with spirit itself. So if that's a little confusing, hopefully that today's lesson will give you a little more clarity. So when I was thinking about this topic, I remembered reading a story about Charles and Myrtle Fillmore from the Unity tradition and their family. So one time when they were children, Lowell and Rickard, who were the sons of the Fillmores, they played with a little boy who said that he was lost. So when they went home that evening, they told their parents about him. So Mrs. Fillmore went ahead and sent their father out to find him, and soon Mr. Fillmore returned with him, and the young man was a little African-American boy. He was very dirty, and his clothes were rags, and so Mrs. Fillmore took off his clothes and burned them and replaced them with some of Rick's and Lowell's. She heated some water on the kitchen stove and gave him a bath in the tin tub that served the family. While she was bathing him, she talked to him and tried to give him some Unity ideas about God. God is everywhere, she told him. God is in this very room. And at that moment, Mr. Fillmore, Charles, came through the room and went upstairs, and the little boy's mouth fell open. "Is that God?" he asked. So the answer to that little boy's question is yes. And that yes continues to include Myrtle, Lowell, and Rickard. Let's understand that we are all emanations of the one life, individualized as you and me. Every single one of us is a living tabernacle of the one life that we call God or Spirit, just like what Eddie Watkins was singing here in just a few moments ago. My question to you today is this: do you really believe that? Do you believe and do you embrace that you are living incarnation of the one? So from the Jewish tradition, it is said that angels go before us in the invisible and saying, "Make way, make way, make way for the living child of God." So I hope that Myrtle said to the young man, yes, he is God. And guess what? You are too. So not only is it important spiritually to recognize our own divinity, but we need to recognize the God as others too. And to recognize that there is no other. There is no other. Can we get that? There's only one infinite life showing up as individual expressions. We're all one, whether we like it or not. And we have to remember that when we blame someone or we point the finger at someone, that there's three fingers pointing back at us. So we always have a part in it. Thank you to my friends in the 12-Step Recovery Program for teaching me that. So today, let us remember that God is all there is. There is nothing, no thing that can exist outside of God, since there is no outside of God, which means that everything and everyone, no matter the external dualistic appearances, is intimately and wonderfully demonstrating a relationship with Spirit. Now, this relationship is either discordant or harmonious by our choosing. So today, let us all reassess how we choose to show up in this loving and wonderful relationship. So from our Science of Mind teaching, there is only one. And in the philosophy and also in theology, there's been an ongoing discussion about God and its creation. So using our visual this morning, there are three main theories about creation. The first one to the left is called theism. where God created the world out of nothing and is not in its creation. So this is the typical belief of the Abrahamic religions of Judaism, Christianity, and also Islam. God is somewhere outside of its creation and must be prayed or worshiped too. So the middle portion is pantheism. It's a belief that's common in native and indigenous religions, where God is its creation with no overall transcendent deity. So from the science of mind perspective, and that of some philosophers and theologians, we are panentheistic, the third one on the right, or God being both transcendent and immanent in its creation. So in other words, God emanates in and through the created world without being used up in its creation. So this diagram for me is a better explanation, at least to me, of the concept of oneness. This theory is also called qualified non-dualism, that acknowledges God or spirit as one, yet also theorizes a transcendent God that's in its creation, but not used up in its creation. Thank you to Dr. Tom Sanar, my Holmes Institute instructor, and also my continuing education instructor also. So our relationship with God is reflected in our thoughts, feelings, and beliefs about those around us. So the big secret is this. When we have disharmony with others, this reflects sometimes in our consciousness that needs to be healed first before reflecting in the outer. From the ancient Hermetic teachings, we learned as within, so without. This discovery is not about blame or guilt. It's about making our lives work. Well, I can just hear you say, some of you out there, well, he isn't in the situation that I am. So from experience, when there is disharmony in my life, when I first heal what's going on inside of me, there's two things that happen. Either the other will align in harmony, or they will go away. So if I have disharmony with another, it reflects my relationship to spirit. I have so many stories to tell you. However, Gina told me that if I speak over my allotted time, my honorarium will be deducted by $10 per minute over. Okay. So when I was at the International New Thought Alliance Congress in Chicago a couple of weeks ago, I met an independent unity minister who specialized in conflict resolution with churches and corporations. So my colleague gets invited into these organizations at a big dollar amount to help heal the conflict. Now, understand that these churches and corporations have tried everything they could to try to heal this within their organization to no avail. So that's the reason why they have to bring in my colleague. So her process is this. She gets the two sides apart and talks to each separately so that she can understand the issues. So then she goes off alone and she works on herself to heal that within her that is causing the outer conflict. Remember, there's only one. There's only one. So when she heals and healed herself, then she goes back to each party, and the reaction and the response was, what issue? Oh, it's not a big deal. Why did that work? It worked because there's only one of us. Practitioners of our teaching use the same process in their healing work. Again, from Larry Dossey's book, Healing Words, I always remember this quote. When the consciousness of one changes, there is a corresponding change in the other. And again, let's understand there is no other. There's only one. So how can we apply this to our lives? There's 3 suggestions given in our lesson this week. The first one is, can there really be a distinction between the sacred, mundane, and profane? The holy, the non-holy, and the unholy. So if there's only God, which means that, the question becomes, if I call this person or event unholy or profane, in what ways are the creative principles of the law being used to demonstrate such an experience? And again, from other teaching, we understand that there is no evil, that it may show up in the world as such, but again, because we have free will, we can use the law, unfortunately, for not very good. But again, what the truth says is this, is whatever is going on, what truth is being called forth to know that the condition is healed. So that's the reason why we use the news, many of us, as a prayer request form, is when we see the outer conditions, we go within to heal that within us. So the second point is this: God is ever present as the presence of all that is, and the mind that is being used by each individual incarnation is no less the one mind. So our relationships to our thoughts about the world are a direct reflection of our relationship to God. So this means for us to always be on the affirmative side of life as much as possible. From the Science of Mind textbook, page 497, the first paragraph, it says, pray without ceasing. So this means to always be on the affirmative side of life. This inner communion is essential to the soul and is natural to the mind. It is a constant recognition of our relationship to that presence in which we live and we move and we have our being. Again, Science of Mind textbook, page 497. First paragraph. So how do we know that our thoughts are towards the positive? Again, the psychologists say that we think anywhere between 40 to 80,000 thoughts a day. So a good hint is this: if we're thinking towards the good and the beautiful, then our feelings reflect that. So invite me back if you want to know how more to do that. So the third point is, we change the world by changing the quality of our relationships to the world, which in fact are our relationships to each and all the ways that God, the body of God, shows up. So when we speak about God, is the way that we speak to God and as God. So do we still use New Thought language to speak of an anthropomorphic God? Is your view of God an old man on a big white throne waiting to send you to hell at any moment? That's what I was brought up to believe. What do the relationships that we have within our spiritual community, within our neighborhoods, cities, nations, ecosystems, what do they say about our view, our understanding, our relationship with spirit? How we relate to anything or anyone is how we relate to everything and everyone. For example, God. So when we hold on to grudges and bitterness and righteous indignation, which means we have a right to be angry, people-pleasing, passive aggression, and jealousy, they're all indications of some idea that we have about spirit and its felt or absent presence in our lives. So, as we heal each barrier to develop loving and forgiving and wonderful relationships, we strengthen our relationship to God, with God, and as God. And so one of the exercises that I give to congregations that I speak at is, think of somebody in your group, in your community, that you don't like very well. Now, come on. We all don't like someone. But if there's someone in your spiritual community that you don't care for, I suggest this week, again, heal that within yourself and then go and talk to them. Just say hi. How you doing? It's been nice to see you on Sundays. It would really do not only you good, but also the other person good. Because again, there's only one. So from Rumi, we read this. Your task is not to seek for love, but to merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. So this week's call to action is this, is to heed the words of Rumi and to find all the places that we have built barriers to love, barriers to live more fully and wonderfully, and as our divine, magnificent selves. So select one item, whether it be codependency, resentment, betrayal. Is there someone that you haven't forgiven? Really, truly. Begin the work of healing here, transcending, transmuting, transforming, and rising above it like the phoenix, ready to embrace the world here with love and wonder of spirit, which embraces its own divinity in each relationship that we consciously choose to embrace and unleashes divine wonder and grace and love and power. So reach out to a practitioner, a minister, a therapist, a friend, and begin the healing process, the recovery from an addiction to the old paradigm, to the way it used to be, and to come into the newness of life. You are not alone in this path. You have other people here, the people in your community, the people in the greater community, because again, there's only one. So I leave you now with another Rumi quote, and he wrote this. Someone knocked at the door of the beloved, and a voice from within inquired, "Who is there?" And he answered, "It is I." And the voice said, "This house will not hold me and thee." So the door remained closed, and the lover sped away into the wilderness and fasted and prayed. And after a year, he returned and knocked again at the door. And the voice again demanded, "Who is there?" And the lover said, "It is thou." And the door was opened. Namaste. I salute the divinity as you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for that wonderful message. And I really appreciated, where have I built barriers to love? What a gift that is. Thank you for bringing that up, because it's always me blocking me. We always think it's something else, someone else, something else. And the other thing that really struck me was righteous indignation, because that's one of mine. Do I want to be right, or do I want to be peaceful? Do I want to be right, or do I want to be a change agent? So thank you for that powerful message. And I am so happy that we're going to have you back. And just for the record, we're going to have you back to do our treatment at the end. We're going to have you pray us out, and I'm sure we'll have you back again, and at some point. But thank you for giving us that wonderful message, and we'll see you in just a little bit. And it's so important to remember that we get to choose. We get to choose how we walk through life. And what that's all about, like where is our heart space? And Karen says, great practical applications. Thank you. And it really is a gift. We get the opportunity, just as we are all one, the face of God. So we get the opportunity to be that, yes, and to remember it. And that is so important. And that is why it's so important to come together. And you can find out more about our beloved community at cslboston.org. You can please go to our website and see what's going on. Get a lot of new stuff coming up soon. And I want to make some announcements. And we have been, for the summertime, we're meeting in person on the 2nd and 4th Sundays of the month. So today being the 5th, we are not there. So the 2nd and the 4th, we will see you live next time on the 14th of August. So just make your plans so you can be there with us in Medford, so that you can be live with us in the beautiful community. And we are here every week virtually. So know that we are always here. We also we have our Sunday service on New Thought Media Network. We're so grateful to be a part of that beloved community as well, seen all over the world. So it broadcasts again on Facebook and YouTube. And keep in mind, save the date, February 20th through the 23rd, Vista. And they're doing it differently this year. There are more opportunities for you to find it to be closer. It's actually going to be held in several locations. It's going to be a whole new way of doing things, because isn't that really what life is all about, the newness of it all? And I want to remind you that we have visioning on every Monday. We vision for this beloved community. We are knowing our new home, and wherever that may be, Spirit is guiding us to. And it's so important. We'd love for you to join us Monday at noon. Whether you've ever done it before or not, you can go to our website and there's a link there. If you have any questions or problems, you're welcome to reach out to me. But remember that there is so much good that comes from this amazing practice. And we'd love to teach it to you and show you how. If you've never been there, we had somebody new this past Monday who was absolutely amazing and received so much. So just know that there's so much good. And there's more coming. We've got classes that are going to be coming in. We've got a Thursday night midweek that's going to be happening every Thursday night, where we're going to just have a wonderful community discussion. So it's our time for sacred giving and knowing the law of circulation. Giving activates receiving. So what we give out always comes back. So if you've been spiritually fed by our service, please know you can support our center through PayPal, or you can text to give. But you can reach out right through PayPal, or when we're in person, of course, that way as well. Our sacred giving affirmation, and right from wherever you are, if you can join me for that. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. And that's what it's all about, is circulating that love, that goodness, circulating all that there is, and knowing that Spirit is that absolute, infinite supplier, that there is no lack in this abundant universe. And the more we share in various ways, the more it comes back in amazing ways. So the other thing I want to mention is, I didn't get the time right before, but I have it now. This is the Fireside Chat is on Fridays on New Thought Media Network. And, with Pastor Michael Mangus, and it is for our time on the East Coast, it's 8 p.m. So this way we have the right time. And he is wonderful, and it is fun. So I invite you to come and join that as well. So thank you for being here today. And I have, if you would please share your prayer, and then we still have another song to go. But it's so wonderful to have you here for our affirmative. We can't hear you. I think you're on mute.
Sorry. So you are so fortunate to have Gina. I hope that you know for her again peace and love and guidance and prosperity each and every day. And so let's end our time here with prayer. And so again, turn within to that one that we've been talking about, that one presence, empower that one life, that one activity, which lives and moves and has its being as us. We are one with this one life, this one activity. We are expressions, each and every one of us, of that one. So today, this week, we just understand that. We learn to see the divine in each and every person. We learn to bless each and every circumstance. We know that, again, that with God, all things are possible. And with our understanding of the law, that we can go ahead and we can be a positive influence, not only within ourselves, but also in the world. So we allow ourselves this week to be used by Spirit, to be able to go out there and to be a blessing to the world. And so I just give great thanks for this time. I just now invite or invoke a blessing over this wonderful community, Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Boston. I just now know that everything that they do, again, is a blessing to the world. I bless their spiritual leader, Gina. And I just now, again, know that she is divinely guided and directed. And I just now know that a blessing is happening now, a blessing of multiplication, a blessing of increase, a blessing of good. So knowing that, I just give great thanks, because I know that my word that I have just spoken here is now being turned over completely and totally to that great law of life, knowing that it is already done. And so with that, again, with a grateful heart, I say thank you. And let's all say together, and so it is.
And so it is. Thank you so much for the wonderful prayer. Thank you for being here with us and celebrating with us. Isn't it a gift that wherever we are, there is only one? And if the internet doesn't teach us that nothing does, right? Yep. We have one song left, and as we go into this new week, this new beginning, because everything is a new beginning, we get a choice in each and every moment to choose and to let go of any seeming barrier to that beloved that is within us. So it's knowing that Spirit is alive in us is the song by Denise Rosier. And just know that, yes, Spirit is right here, alive in us. And may you feel that love and connection in every moment of this upcoming week, right here, right now. Blessings and love to you all. Have a beautiful week.
Light shining bright through us right here. Spirit, you're the love in us, reaching out with every touch. Spirit, you're the voice in us, rising up beyond our hurt.